Hi Cancer, happy birthday and welcome back to the Astrology 33 channel. This is your mid-July 2024 love reading. Thank you to those of you who liked, viewed, shared, and subscribed to the channel. I appreciate all of that. For those of you new to the channel, as far as what we have in front of us, it's why you all the bridge and the gap spread. And the way it works is to look at the past, present, future energies between you and your main love interest. Once we get through all that, we'll pull some oracle cards for some of those additional insight as well. That's when the bridge and the gap dynamic comes into play. As far as the decks being used, on the left side we have the Lover's Path Tarot, on the right side we have the Romantic Tarot. And also keep in mind it's a general reading, so I'm going to be referring to the cards on the left as your energy and the cards on the right as the other person's. If you feel that's the way around in your situation, then definitely trust that. Alright, so with all that out of the way, we'll get started. As energy on your side, we have the Three of Cups. So this is actually a Cancerian energy here, so it makes sense to see this pop up on your side. But this could be playing out a few different ways. For some of you, could just be saying that you might have actually crossed paths with this person while you were out celebrating with friends, maybe just connecting even with family, right? For some of you, it could have been in a dancing environment, possibly even a concert, something along those lines there. But it could also just be saying in general, you might have just felt a real immediate sense of familiarity with this person, you know? So even if you met him for the first time, it felt like you'd known each other for a long time. All right, past energy on their side, we have the Page of Pentacles. So yeah, to me, this could just be saying, again, we see there's a music element there. There's the flute, so it could just be saying that, again, like I said, for some of you, maybe you met them, whether, like I said, at a concert, or maybe just even if you were at a bar or somewhere where there's music playing, there does seem to be some kind of connection between the two of you with music around the situation. Maybe they are a musician, for example. But yeah, at the very least, it looks like the two of you might have hit it off very well, and at the very least had some connection going with music for a majority of you. All right, in the present position on your side, we have the King of Arrows, or King of Swords, as most decks call it. But to me, this could just be saying, if we look at the artwork, we see the facial expression looks pretty not pleased, I guess we could say, right? We see the flowers there, the back turned to the cards on the side. So this could just be saying that your feelings for this person might still be there, but for whatever reason, there could be some reluctance on your part to express it to them, right? So, for example, if we go with the music example, like maybe they're a traveling musician, right? So, you're like, okay, I don't really want to get attached because this person's always going to be on the road, something along those lines, right? So, there seems to be something that's holding the connection back at a practical level that you're acknowledging, but the feelings might still be there. All right, present energy on their side, we have Judgment. So yeah, again, we see another connection with music, right? So like I said, for some of you, obviously, I highly doubt it could be the case for all of you, but for some of you, this could just be saying that maybe your main love interest is a musician, right? And like I said, maybe they're a touring musician, so they're not always in the same city, right? They could be going all over the place, and maybe that's where the main disconnect is for you, where on the one hand, you might like that, but then you might feel, okay, on a practical level, as far as the day to day with the actual connection goes, you might feel like that's where it's going to be lacking, and that could be why you're holding back. But this person looks like they're totally interested, and it looks like they would like to continue things with you. But yeah, like I said, maybe there's just too much going on in their environment that you might view as a bit of a red flag in the situation. All right, and future energy on your side, we have Sacrifice. And again, we see a musical instrument in this card as well on your side, right? So yeah, again, like I said, not going to be the case for all of you, but it seems to be some connection with music there, and it seems to be driving a wedge within the connection. And with Sacrifice there, maybe you're coming to the realization, right, that okay, if I'm going to stay in this connection, there's going to be sacrifice, right? And then you might just be weighing the pros and cons of if that's worth it or not. So some of you might ultimately decide to leave it behind for that reason, while others of you might come to the realization that, okay, I do want to stay in the connection, but also acknowledge that it will require sacrifice in order for the connection to succeed. All right, and future energy on their side, we have the Ace of Swords. So yeah, this could even just be saying that maybe they'll pick up on the fact that you might want something more, and they might communicate to you that if that's the case, then they'd rather just keep it at more of a friendship level, right? So obviously, it doesn't look like there's going to be happiness on both sides around the situation, right? Because it does seem like they have their certain set of priorities, and then that might be coming into a clash with what your priorities are around the situation. But you just might find that, the way they communicate it as well might also rub you the wrong way a little bit, where it might seem like it's a little bit cold. I mean, I don't think that they mean it that way at all, but it just seems like, this seems to be their main priority at this time. All right, bottom of the deck on your side, we have the Five of Staves. So for some of you, maybe just feel like that's what it is, right? You might feel like there's competition for this person's time, their energy, their attention, right? And that could be possibly a bit of a drain on some of you. For some of you, might actually, to an extent, like it, or maybe in the beginning you might have liked it, but now as time's gone on, you're like, okay, maybe it was appealing at first, but now, maybe you're expecting things to be moving into more of a one-to-one basis by this point, and you might be disappointed to see that it's not moving in that direction. All right, and bottom of the deck on their side, we have the Ten of Swords. So what sticks out to me here is we see the blue rose again, just like we saw with the Ace of Swords. So yeah, for some of you, it might just be one of those things. And even here, if we look at the artwork, it looks like maybe a soldier returning, right, from being away. So ultimately, that could just be saying that, yeah, eventually, even if things do split off between the two of you for a while, looks like this person might eventually come back. So, right, so like I said, obviously, it's not going to be the case for all of you, but just think of it in that general sense where, like I said, the example that I'm seeing just with all the music elements here is a traveling musician, right? So maybe they're on tour and then they come back and then, okay, now I'm finally able to be present within the connection, right? And then just seeing if they could pick things back up from where they left off. But for others, it doesn't necessarily have to be that, right? Maybe they travel a lot for another type of work, right? Or maybe it's not even just so much traveling, but they're putting a lot of energy toward their work to where they can't give a lot of energy toward the connection. So there's ways it could be playing out, right? It doesn't have to play out exactly as a touring musician, of course, but that's the general energy I'm getting here, is that they have another area of focus that's important to them, and they'd like to incorporate you in that as well, but it seems like there could just be disagreement on how much time to give to the connection versus this other goal that this person has. But we'll see what the Oracle cards add to the mix. First, we'll see what we get from the messages of the Oracle card deck here. Just looking for a single card from this deck. Oh, and that doesn't want to go back in the deck. And next, we'll see what we get from the Wisdom Oracle deck. Same situation, we're just going to shuffle this deck and pull one card from here as well. And then we'll read the messages from each of the cards and wrap the reading up with that. And we got one there. Okay, so first from the messages of love, we have healing. All right, it says old wounds and childhood issues need revisiting. So interesting there. I don't really see anything that goes back to like a deep childhood thing, but for some of you, for example, if maybe there's an abandonment wound, right? Maybe that could be what's at play for some of you. And then on this person's side, it could just be playing out in a different way, right? To where they just might not be looking at the reality through a more mature lens of approaching the connection between the two of you. All right, and all right, we can't escape the music theme here, right? But from the Wisdom Oracle, we have Unfinished Symphony. So there's the artwork. The number is 10, and we'll see what this has to say. All right, the relationship message says, moving on is difficult when love lingers, things are left unsaid, and you haven't had the opportunity for closure in your relationship and in your heart. You can still feel bound up in relationships when closure is denied you. It's important to achieve this for yourself. Write that letter, make that call, or have that conversation over a cup of coffee. For peace of mind, accept matters as they are, make amends if need be, and declare your feelings, even if only to yourself. Be clear about what was left unresolved, and close the door in the past so you can set yourself free. Only then can new love blossom. So yeah, definitely an interesting message there, right? Because it seems to say that even if the two of you do come back together, right, there's still going to be that choice where for some of you it's to actually continue the connection, or for others of you it's going to at least give you that closure. It's where you can finally move on and maybe find someone who's more on the same page as you as far as relationships go. So, once again, happy birthday. And for those of you, if this is your situation, hopefully it resonated, you got something from it. We'll wrap up there, and I'll see you all next month. All right, bye.